tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Brain after show here on AfterBuzz TV, talking about season 2, episode 8, Intruders. I'm Matt Lieberman. Joining me on the panel. Oh man. So we just came into a song from the long ago but hopefully not forgotten, short-lived MTV cartoon series called Clone High. If you're a fan of the Lego Movie or the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs movies or the 21 Jump Street movies, it's from the same guys back in 2003, and it's incredible. You should watch it. I'm Matt Lieberman. Zach Wilson's here. Jacque Borowski's here.
Holla.
Thank you so much. I have a wide grin on my face.
It's
for makeover,
it's such a blast.
makeover.
It's such a blast. I love it. Stephen Lemieux not feeling too well. He didn't want to get us sick, so he is not joining us on this episode.
We have placed him under quarantine
Yes.
until we come up with a cure for vampirism.
Yes, but you know, hey, it's a quarantine, but people can get in, people can get out. It's not that big a deal, really. So let's talk about this episode. What did you guys think? Personally, an improvement over last week in many respects.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. There's some of the plot lines I'm genuinely like on the edge of my seat during. And that's the thing, is that this show has like some amazing stuff in it. It also has some more like idiot people logic.
Sure.
Like we talk about, some characters are not behaving to the top of their intelligence.
Right.
But I love what we're doing at the Lumen.
Yeah, the Lumen is great. I like a nice MacGuffin, and it kind of gives us something to wait on. That's exciting.
The problem I have with the Lumen is that I really loved the book sequence they had for the Lumen, and this is so different from that that I'm having a hard time reconciling myself to it, because they, instead of doing this kind of like silent auction where it's like, well, you get a bid and you get a bid, they're actually like in an auction house. And so I feel maybe, I don't know if they just didn't have the budget to do that or something, or they saved the budget for the vampire children or something. But you feel the tension, because in the same room you have, it's Ichor's versus Satrakian bidding on, or Team Ichor's and Team Satrakian bidding on the Lumen. Interesting.
I actually would say I prefer it this way. This felt way more suspenseful than an organized auction, where they can't because when they're alone, you're waiting for something to pop out, and because this guy's representing just we don't know who it's from, we don't know that it's gone through anywhere. It's just this weird Cardinal, which is a creepy guy to be auctioning off million dollar
I do
book.
love the creepy Cardinal. I like that they have a corrupt clergy person in here. I think a show is always good with a corrupt clergy person.
Yeah, I really liked that character, and he didn't need to stick around, but he served a great purpose within these few episodes.
Until him and Nicholas died.
Yeah, I could see it either way. Both is entertaining. Personally, I really would have liked a nice auction house sequence, especially if there's something going on behind the scenes as F and the team have to fight people off while this auction is going on and trying to give Satrakian his one and only chance to get the book. I feel like it has less to do with budget and more to do with teasing it out across the whole season as they have, and being able to make it, kind of serialized. The nice thing that the Lumen does, and I feel like it really crystallized in this episode now that we actually know where to go get it, and there's a clear path for our heroes to go get it, is that we don't know what we're working towards. We thought we had this cure. We thought that that's what we were working towards, and we had momentum behind it. And then that's just over. So it's like, where's our momentum? What are we building towards? If there's no action, or like not a lot of action in each episode, and it's just kind of little snippets in our characters' lives, we kind of feel moreless and directionless. And this feels like, okay, we have a direction. We get the book. We can figure out how to stop the vampires. Vampires over. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's been, I guess that's the thing, is that they keep, in a great season of television, you see they start at the beginning, and they keep going up, and they add in some little like hints that are like, you're like, oh, where's that gonna go? Where's that gonna go? Mm-hmm. And even if they don't necessarily lead to where you're going, they're a piece of this building block. They're a building block in this puzzle. I'm mixing metaphors a little bit, but it keeps building and building and building until some kind of crazy thing where it all comes together and either solves the problem that we're having or literally explodes, like who knows. But the thing is, we keep getting these little pieces like the cure that I don't know how that's gonna come around, and it's not, and it's I guess it could somehow that we don't see yet, but it's so disconnected from the Lumen that I'm having trouble seeing where all the stuff that they built is gonna go. Like, so to give you an example, the idea that he signed away the rights to his drug seem like, I'm wondering
is that ever gonna come back?
They built it like it was, but effectively they've given up on this.
Yeah, no, it seemed like a big deal at the time, but now I'm not entirely sure, and it's just a bummer, because I feel like that's the thing that keeps driving us nuts, is it feels like at times the show is wasting our time. It feels like it's dragging its heels, like it has something big up its sleeve. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that there is a big twist coming that is going to be very suspenseful and it's going to make us all want to watch season 3. But it's not a fun time to be a Strain fan. It just hasn't been for several episodes.
And I want to respond, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, real quick.
I want to respond to everybody in the YouTube and stuff in the comments from last week that were frustrated with us because we were a little bit negative last week. We hear you. The thing is, we love this show too. We wouldn't be here if we didn't.
Yeah.
This is first season of this show was amazing.
It was terrific.
I was on the edge of my seat the whole year, and this season hasn't been up to par with what we expect from the quality of writers and the quality of just producers and everything that goes into the show. We know they can do better. Yeah. And so we want this to be the best show it can be. And part of that is pointing out where it isn't to the top of its game.
Quite as strong. Yeah. You want to say something, Jen?
I think that part of the problem for that is I do find that there are some plot lines that are more interesting than others. Like right now, I could give very few fucks as to what F is doing. He's just irritated me so much as a character that I have a hard time standing behind him, which is weird because he's supposed to be our hero, whereas the Kelly storyline is so interesting right now because I feel like the actress Natalie Brown, who
Steven actually did an interview
with her today.
Yeah, check it out. There's some
she's doing this amazing work. She has this physicality down. She's doing this stunted voice work. She's doing some very fascinating work that I find to be more interesting than some of the things that they're like, look at this is interesting, and I'm like, I like that other plot line.
Yeah,
I like the Gus plot line.
It's finally starting to pick up.
Yeah,
although we'll get to it. I'm very confused about something. It is so minor, but I can't get my mind off it with the Gus plot line. But before we move on, I need to tell you real quick about Casper. Guys, what is Casper? Casper...
It's not a ghost, is it?
Not a ghost.
Scared ghost.
Not a ghost. It is an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the price. You know, the mattress industry is forcing customers to pay crazy markups on mattresses. You expect to pay, what, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 for a good mattress. That's crazy. Because here's the thing, guys. Casper's here to blow the mattress industry right up like a Facility Fet grenade, okay? So don't pay over $1,000 for a mattress. Why don't you pay $500 for a twin-size mattress, $600 for a twin XL? How about $750 for a full-size, $850 for a queen, or $950 for a freaking king-size mattress, okay? These Casper mattresses are high quality, okay? It provides resilience and long-lasting, supportive comfort. Every single mattress is one of a kind. It is a new hybrid mattress that combines premium latex foam with memory foam. So you got foam, and then you got freaking memory foam right on top, just in case that wasn't enough foam for you. And let me tell you, it's more than enough foam for you. It's more foam than you could possibly handle, okay? Now, buying a Casper mattress, let me just say this, completely risk-free, okay? How is that possible? I'll tell you, they offer free delivery and returns within a 100-day period. It's that simple, okay? Buy the mattress, try it out for 100 days. That's over 3 months of premium night sleep that you could be catching up on. And you know what? If after 3 months this mattress isn't the best mattress that you've ever slept on, you can return it absolutely free, okay? So that's why we want you to go to Casper, try out that obsessively engineered mattress at a shockingly fair price. A mattress that was made in America. If you want to buy American, this is an American company making it in America.
America.
Yeah, with just the right sink, just the right bounce. You go to Casper.com, okay, /AfterBuzz. That's www.casper.com/AfterBuzz, AFTERBUZZ, and use the promo code AFTERBUZZ for $50 off any mattress purchase. Okay, that's $50 off Casper.com/AfterBuzz. Now, I gotta talk about what's bothering me with the Gus plot. And I know we don't want to get into stuff that bothers us, but is Gus homeless?
Pretty sure he is. Pretty
Because
sure he is. But he's the hottest homeless guy there ever was.
oh, don't get me wrong, he's cut from glass, but he has been spending all of his time in this Indian restaurant for days at a time. Days. And he has no home because his mom is still locked in his home. So, where is he sleeping? Nowhere. That's
Matt,
where.
he is a gangbanger. He can sleep in the Indian restaurant if he wants. He can sleep in an evacuated house if he wants. He can sleep in somebody's car if he wants. Because he
Then how does
don't
he
care.
still look so fresh?
Maybe it's off camera, but like Vaughn and the Ancients before they
had set him up in an
maybe they set him up with
Yeah.
a company apartment.
Man, he said he's not with the Ancients no more. Okay?
Yeah, but he's
well,
still
they're
gonna take
dead,
advantage
so
of their
he still
stuff.
got their apartment.
That's true. Yeah, so let's talk about Gus and Angel de la Plata and the Guptas. They go.
We still haven't actually confirmed he's Angel de la Plata, nor has he done anything to link him to the Angel de la Plata storyline, which is the part that I'm being driven crazy about that, because in the books they link him up and it makes sense, and you're like, well, aren't we going to talk about this? You just did a whole episode about it.
The one confirmation, quote unquote, that we get from him is like, fine, you want Angel de la Plata? Here I am, Angel de la Plata. And it's not like, yes, it's me, it's true. It's just sort of like this mocking, kind of sarcastic tone.
Right.
To me, that was it was never presented in a way where I had any doubt that it was it was him. Yes, I guess there's enough of a window there in this setup that it could turn out to be somebody else,
but it's not.
But it's not, and I think they're pretty clear about
But
that.
I just feel like, why are we having this whole plot line where we have to go buy food for them and then we have to be like, no, we're sad because we have to leave our place? What does any of that have to do with Angel de la Plata?
Nothing. It has to do with the Guptas and their beautiful daughter.
Yes, I will.
Screw the Guptas.
I will give you that. I want to
screw one. That was crass. I didn't mean that. But
I guess this is partially from reading the book. The Guptas are not I think they're in the comics, but they're not in the actual book. So, and for comics, graphic novels. For those of you who have read the graphic novels, maybe you can elaborate on that, but they're not really in the books. So I feel like in my head, they're not central to the plot line. So I keep thinking, what are we doing with them? And they could turn out to have some sort of interesting tie-in to everything.
Yeah, I guess what I'm looking for right now, having not read anything, is just they've introduced the Guptas. They've introduced Angel. The Guptas, I get their function in the story as somebody for like a new family for Gus. I get that.
A surrogate family.
Yes.
Yeah. Who, like, what is... I want to know what Angel is doing there, because the fact that he has this history of playing a vampire hunter... It cannot be a throwaway.
Not when we spent a whole episode on it. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, but like they did it so early. Like now I'm like foaming at the mouth for like I want to see him kill a vampire or
just
something.
Have him kill one.
Or even if he doesn't do the killing, possess some knowledge of it that is useful that like Gus didn't have or we didn't have or something that justifies his existence in this show
entirely. But in any case,
I did feel though it was sort of cheap when you had Quinlan come in. Not the scene between Quinlan and Gus was cool.
It was solid.
Yeah, I really liked it.
The guy who plays Quinlan is great. Their interaction was great. I still have a hard time reconciling the fact that it's like, well, they died 2.5 seconds ago, and I don't really work for them, but we should go talk to them. And I'm like, but wait, he just left them saying he didn't want to deal with the masters or the other ancients.
The ancients, yeah.
And now he's kind of like, oh, well, I guess so. You got a bone sword and you stole my gun.
Yeah, so I guess you're my boss now. Yeah.
Well, no, but
It seemed a little too easy for me to have him... And it has to do with that weird thing they tried to do by having Vaughn go away and replace him with real Quinlan, and the pieces of that.
You get to have that great line. You were trained by Vaughn. Who do you think trained him? Wasn't it all worth it for that, Jackie? It was all worth it.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot I liked about this scene. You're right though. It would have been more.
They could have just recast him. I'm sorry. They could have just recast him like they recast that kid.
I mean, this is the thing is that like this whole idea of him coming back in to fight the Master could have been really powerful from Vaughn, who like brought him into the fold of all this,
Right?
And is like sort of someone he looks up to. Whereas I'm not sure how him and Quinlan are gonna feel about each other. That being said, I really enjoyed this scene because I really enjoyed how Quinlan just like got to the heart of Gus in an instant, like, and reminded him
really well staged and well written. Like it was really a terrific scene.
Yeah, I mean the play between the two guys in that was great. I mean, I love the line "Beauty and love are fleeting yet powerful," because it just
He's had both of them.
Yeah,
he's had both of them.
Yeah, it cuts to the heart. It cuts to his heart right away, and reminds him that yes, it'd be great to just like run away and like forget all of it, try to get out of New York City, or just protect the Guptas and Angel. But the Master took everything from him. And maybe he just, like, after all the stuff he's dealt with, he just needed somebody to remind him that, like, this wasn't nature. This isn't a disease. This is the Master. And you can kill him.
Yeah, it's true. I really hope... I have a lot of faith. This episode set up a lot of cool stuff. And I feel like then it's just going to be a solid just run to the finish line. That's my fervent hope here. Like, I don't want to... I'm worried that we sound too down on this episode, because this episode has a lot going for it. The show isn't quite where we want it to be yet as fans, but this episode did have a lot going for it, and I think that moving forward, separating Gus from the Guptas, having him refocus on his mission, being trained under Quinlan, who's got his own agenda. Awesome. Love that. Agents of Chaos messing stuff up. I really, really enjoy that. Before we move on, because we still have a lot to discuss, okay, I want to just quickly shout out our folks who have rated and reviewed us at iTunes, because the best way for you to support us is to go to iTunes, rate and review the show, or any of the shows that you listen to or that you watch on YouTube. It's quick, it's easy, it doesn't cost you a dime. I say it every week because it is the truth. And we have a review here from Langley M. Neely, who has been watching shows I've been on for a while, and is just an amazing dude.
Good to hear from you, Langley.
Yeah, good to hear from you, dude. 5 stars. My favorite crew on my least favorite show.
Oh,
is the name of the review. I will read it in Satrakian voice.
So I have to admit, I tried watching The Strain. Can't do it. Can't stand the dumb writing. What do I love? This group covering the show. Matt, Jackie, Zach, and Steven are my favorite group on AfterBuzz, going back to Sleepy Hollow Season 1. I get more fun watching them talk and complain about the show than watching it. I consider myself a devoted fan of these guys and look forward to fall TV and far better shows.
Why did I become pirate? Here's to good old lemon drop.
I thought for because Steven was out, I hated not having Steven here, but I felt well, at least we'll get a week without the Satrakian voice.
It's part of the program, Zach. They expect it.
It is part of the program.
It's part of the program.
But now we need to have people start talking like old Lemon Drop.
Yes, let's talk like old Lemon Drop, who has a surprisingly firm chest and arms for an old man. Yeah.
Coco regenerated him.
I guess so.
Yep.
So we open up on Coco and Eldritch Palmer in bed. Yoinks. Okay? Whoa. Didn't see that coming.
But we did, because they kind of
I
had
know.
the scene in the last episode.
Did we have to?
Hey, at least you didn't get any lovemaking actually on screen.
That's true.
You could have gotten some old Lemon Drop booty.
Yeah, that's true.
This.
And may I
You could have
say,
watched old Lemon drop his booty.
That's true. He could have dropped some lemon drops in that. But we got Coco Marchand with an open shirt. Why not a little more Eldritch Palmer skin, guys? Are we being sexist here? Do we
He
only
seems
know?
like he has nice skin.
No.
He's got nice skin.
We're not being
South
sexist,
of the
Matt,
neck.
at all. We're being ageist, if anything.
That's true. So
Yeah, for the 95-year-old people who were watching The Strain, they want to see some old Lemon Drop.
So Coco is being very insistent and curious. Now that she has bedded the wealthiest man in town, she's like, so what's up with that guy Icorse? Did you ever notice he smells weird? And hey, are you after that book? Maybe you could tell me about it. Tell me.
I feel
tell
she's
me
always been like that, though, and now she's just even more so because she feels she's justified in being that way.
Right. I gave you my body. Tell me everything that's going on in your life.
I still keep for the first half of this episode, I totally was still on the train of thought that she was undercover.
Yeah.
Yes, it really does seem that way.
Until the end of the episode.
When she storms off.
She storms out. Then I was a little.
What if
I
that's
wasn't
just a
as sure.
calculated risk? Zach?
Maybe. It might be.
Maybe we just have to chalk it up to the fact that this is real romance here, guys.
Yeah.
She
It's
went
real
in
romance.
Yeah,
she went
she
in for
cares about
information and came out.
What's the
with
Coco
love.
Palmer? What's their ship name?
Ooh, that sounds like a drink, actually. A Coco Palmer.
Yeah.
Calmer.
I guess it would be Coldrich.
Coldrich.
Yeah.
Popo.
Popo.
Popo. Yeah, something like that. I like Coldrich.
I like Coco Palmer.
Coco Palmer. So, well, that's what she would like to be, is Miss Coco Palmer. Yeah, she's being really, really intensely insistent on this stuff, and I think it's still highly possible that she's a spy, and this is just a calculated risk. You have to imagine, Zach. Imagine that you are a man of Eldritch Palmer's age, and you just lost your virginity. Okay? He's in a very fragile emotional state. He's very vulnerable, and this is a woman who's important to him.
70-year-old virgin coming from Judd Apatow later this year.
Pretty much, with vampires.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to believe that this is real now.
Really?
That's my prediction. We're going to find out that this is realer than real, and it's going to be one of the realest romances on this show.
This is gonna be the Notebook
Yes.
with vampires and old people.
That's really all this was. It was a backdoor way to have a vampire-laced
A May
rom-com
December romance.
Yeah, listen.
about Coco and Palmer, about
Carlton-
a young woman and a very, very old
A
man.
very May December romance.
When Carlton Cuse read these books, he said, "You know what this is? This is a way to really bring May December romance to television in a bold and innovative way."
Well, it wasn't in the book, so they felt that Eldridge needed a little something something.
I guess. Well, you need a reason to care about his scenes when Eichhorst isn't in them. And I think
Yes.
that's why the only reason this plot line is happening.
Right.
So it may be that she's not a spy and that she really is the love of his life. And you know what? When she finally really leaves, she comes back after this and then really leaves when she finds out what's really happening, that's when he doubles down and really becomes a bad guy because he wasn't one already.
GBNF in the chat roll says lost his virginity. Really? Yeah. Think
Yes,
about
he
it.
did.
He
He-
was paralyzed from the waist down for his entire life.
His entire life. And he was in such ill health for most of his life that he never approached women. Ever. He didn't have an opportunity.
Yeah, they made a point of him that he has trouble talking
Yeah.
to other people.
And I
So
can't,
this was his moment.
yeah, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I feel like they made it explicitly clear a couple episodes ago that this is not something he's ever had any
Yeah.
experience
he,
with.
he
they
cleared
made
up that he's going to be real bad at it.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
Exactly. Yes, real bad at it. So, in any case, the Cardinal drops by, wants to know if he's interested in the Lumen. He throws out $200,000 before the Cardinal even gets the next sentence out of his mouth. He brings it up to $500,000, and it's like, hey, who else is bidding? Is it Abraham Satrakian? He's not a good man. I love this, the two of them being like, is it Eldridge Palmer? He's not a good man. And it's like,
It can be very dangerous for you.
yeah.
I do like
like
how the
lovers'
Cardinal
quarrel.
belittles
Satrakian?
Satrakian and
So rude.
Fett. Did he not see Pretty Woman? He should know better. He should know that
I don't know
anyone.
what you're referencing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you never seen Pretty
I've
Woman?
never seen Pretty Woman.
Okay, well, Pretty Woman is about a
I
prostitute.
know, with a heart of gold, and Richard
And
Gere treats her
There's
like...
a scene where she goes into a store with Richard Gere's money,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically don't want to sell her anything because she looks like a prostitute. And when Richard Gere's credit card comes into play, it's all like, oh. And then he teaches her the lesson that stores are nice to credit cards, not to people. So it's a Pretty Woman story.
Okay. This whole episode is basically Pretty Woman, if you think about it. The
It's
Spider
Pretty
Kid's
Woman
mouth snapped shut
meet-
like that jewelry box.
It's Pretty Woman meets The Notebook.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty Woman as told by Guillermo del Toro.
Yes. I actually would really pay money to see that movie. So, meanwhile, old Lemon Drop, he's pushing Coco away. He's trying to crack down on that Lumen. Eichhorst comes in, and Eichhorst is like, what are you bidding $500,000 for? And he's like, nothing. And we finally learn that he's trying to pick up the Lumen for himself as a defense mechanism or as a bargaining chip against the vampires, because he hasn't been turned yet, and he wants to be turned instead of procuring it for them, which earlier in the season I assumed that that's what he would be doing.
Yeah, well, this was something I believe it was Gramaniac in the chat was asking, what does he want? What is he going to do with it?
He's not going to get rid of the vampires. He's going to put it somewhere safe, and he's going to say, well, the only way you're going to be able to find out what it is to turn me. You need to turn me. You need to keep me, with a certain level of my humanity. I demand this. I am owed this. I feel like it's something like
Everybody
that.
seems to want to sign up to have their penis fall off. I don't think they know what it entails.
Well, he finally used it. So now it's sort of like, well, I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, maybe he won't.
One time used
maybe,
only.
Maybe
Yeah.
now this will be him turning good. He's like, wait. I just figured out what to do with it, and now I have to just drop it off.
I have to old lemon drop it off.
Well, I don't even know that he's aware that that's part of the deal.
Probably not.
Probably not. I feel
Yeah.
like he thinks everything stays.
He needs to talk to Bolivar.
Eichhorst looks normal. Speaking of Bolivar, he's like, I haven't seen Mr. Bolivar in a while. I love this little
That
bit
was a
of
great
sniping.
scene. That
oh
was
my
a
God.
great scene.
Oh man,
awesome.
What show am I thinking of where the ladies like throw like
Real Housewives?
zingers? No, it's a scripted show.
Oh.
Did they throw zingers on Golden Girls? Was Blanche like that? I don't know what I'm thinking of, but it was just sort of like throwing shade. I loved it.
That moment where he goes like, when I see Bolivar, what do I do? Do I bow down to him?
No, do I get on my knees?
Do I get on my knees?
Kiss his ring?
What do you do?
Yeah.
Sick burn.
Yeah, this scene had the best shade.
Yeah, I love when old men throw shade. It's hysterical.
And it was great because Icorst is practically a drag queen. I was living for it.
Icorst is practically a drag queen. Let's talk about that makeover scene.
It was the best.
It was
This
fantastic.
is my favorite scene all season long.
Yeah.
I love vampire makeovers.
Oh my god. You have most of your soft tissue is still
It's
there.
still there.
And your nose
you
is
look
going to stay
fabulous.
on for months.
Trust me.
Ugh.
Is this the right hair for you?
Is this your color?
Yes.
Is this your color?
Yeah, how funny like that the writers' room probably lost their stuff when somebody was like, Icorst comes in and he goes, "Is this your color?"
Yeah. It's so good. I really, really, really enjoyed the sequence and
I love I love Natalie Brown in these scenes that she has to
Her
walk that
performance is
line between
excellent.
feeling like she has to be relearning these like human qualities but still having that kind of like weird animalistic thing.
Yeah, and again, earlier today, if you missed us talking about it before, Stephen Lemieux did an interview with Natalie Brown, and they got into that, like what that process was like, because she sort of had to go. It was like going forward to go backwards. Like she had to become this like creepy creature that doesn't behave human at all. And then what does that creature do when it goes back towards being a human?
Yeah.
So you're acting like a regular person, but betraying all. She said she was like had to fight against all of the things that they taught her about acting.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Check it out.
yeah, it's a really fascinating interview. It's available on iTunes and on YouTube. So check that out. She also gives some spoilers about what's happening next week, which we'll get into in our final segment. It's called predictions. No, that's not right now.
Not yet.
I know that would have been a great setup for predictions. Alexis, our fantastic engineer, you are right on the money. That would have been an amazing transition, but we still have to talk about Fett, Satrakian, and F, Nora, and Zach. So quickly.
And Jimmy Woo.
We just
Yeah, and
lost our
Jimmy
engineer.
Woo. No, don't leave. So Fett and Satrakian are riding in the bread truck, and they're
I
commenting.
love them as a team.
They're a great couple.
They're a great team. And you can tell Satrakian's been missing Fett because he told him to stop chasing skirts.
Yeah, he's
Get your head out of her skirt and back in the mission.
and it was great. And
I love it when those two bond. It made me happy to see them bonding this episode over
Yeah.
killing people in a church.
2 generations of vampire hunters.
Yes.
Exactly. He trained him. He's like his vampire hunter dad.
Yes.
Yes, he's his real father.
Now you just want to see like Quinlan and Vaughn like come meet the two of them.
Aww.
It's
Why
like,
did
my
they kill
son-
off Vaughn? It could have been a vampire son off.
I know, would have been great. So they go. The Cardinal throws shade at them, and Satrakian's like, "I'm gonna rip him off." Basically, we're gonna steal
I
it.
also love how the Cardinal's like, no, don't even bother to sit down.
Oh yeah.
Bitch, please.
They won't be staying long. And it's just sort of like he doubts that they have $750,000 in gold. So they come back to rip him off, and the Cardinal is already under attack by Herr Icorst, who has already implanted him with worms, and they scare off Icorst. Why don't they ever shoot at Icorst's legs? It worked really well last season.
How did he get past a grenade?
He leapt out the window first.
Apparently, Icorst is too fast.
Too
He's
furious.
Like super too fast, too furious.
Exactly. So the Cardinal lets slip that it really is Rudyard.
Kipling, no.
No.
I wish.
Rudyard,
Awesome.
I think it was Fortescue, or Fontescue, the boy from the flashback several weeks ago, who still has the Lumen and has had it ever since the 60s. God damn it, Rudyard. And so now we're going to go try to track him down, which is exciting. We have a direction. Guys,
And we have a new character.
We have a new character, yet another one, but we have a direction. Isn't that great?
Yes.
We have met him.
Yeah.
We have met him before.
But
Well,
not
we
as
met
an
him as a
adult.
boy. We did not meet him as an
Yes.
adult, which I am excited for. And I
Yes.
hope they don't shoot him in the face like they did with our other new characters.
Yeah.
Do you think...
Or let him get bit immediately, like
After
Fitzwilliam.
coming back, yes.
Do you think that we're going to meet him... I'll save it for predictions.
Okay, save it for predictions. So let's talk about F and Nora and Zach. Why is F still freaking lying to Nora? Okay, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why he's being such an avoiding little dickhole, but he and Zach go on a mission to Jimmy Woo's to go pick
First
up a
off,
sniper rifle.
Why do you take your son on a mission to pick up a sniper rifle?
Because he can't trust him at home. He's too busy playing the video games and talking to girls.
He's got to teach him how to acquire illegal goods.
Yes.
If
a
you're
valuable
worried that
skill.
your son might get kidnapped by your ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you leave him at home?
Because he gets chewed out daily about not being good enough for his son and not hanging out with his son and not treating his son with respect. So it's like, well, I'm going to show you my life, son. But
You're going to
Zach-
learn how to do surgery, son.
So they go to Jimmy Woo's. Jimmy Woo has been shot by somebody who just ripped him off. And Zach is like, my dad's a doctor. Entirely different doctor, Zach. Thank you so much. But he does his best to patch him up, and Zach's all dressed up in scrubs with a little
I think
face
I
mask.
actually wrote, Zach is an idiot at that point.
What? I mean, I see. I was actually waiting for F to say, I'm a doctor. I mean, I know that he's not...
He's been drinking since this morning. He had a bottle of whiskey
And
for
he's
breakfast.
not a surgeon.
And he's not a
That's fair.
surgeon.
That's fair. Well, we didn't know that the guy had been shot at the time. I guess
there
it was
was
fair.
blood on the floor. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff.
I assumed a gunshot.
But you have to assume that he went through like basic medical training to become a disease doctor. That he could have like stitched up a wound.
Or cut somebody open in the totally other area and then stitched up that wound.
Yeah, I still don't. If there are any medical doctors in the chat roll, like somebody who would like know better than us,
Yeah,
why
explain
was he
that incision.
if the bullet went through him?
My current hypothesis is he didn't want to exacerbate the damaged tissue in that hole, so he made a clean incision so that he could examine the organs and other tissue to make sure that it didn't puncture the intestines or anything important, and if it did, to be able to have an access point to repair those organs.
Okay. I will go with that.
Yeah, I'll buy
I will
that.
go with that.
Okay.
I'll buy
Okay,
that.
cool.
But
So,
I do like how Jimmy Woo has a high threshold for pain because he was not given any pain medication during this whole
during
thing.
the surgery,
During
Even though
this
it
whole
was
surgery.
right there.
in a backpack.
They're just cutting him open, and then it isn't until the end that they say, "Hey, do you perhaps not feel too well?"
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being unendurable pain, how bad is it?
15.
My favorite bit of physical business in the whole episode. It's so small and so stupid. But she opens up the backpack full of pills. He looks through them. He finds the one. He hands it to her. He says, "Give him every 4 hours." And then he just grabs another one, looks at it, slips it in his pocket.
in his pocket.
Not like slyly at all either.
No.
It's just sort of like. It's just, I love that bit. So they get a sniper rifle, and it's like, yes, Zach and F are bonding finally for the first time. And
He
I'm like,
taught a 7-year-old how to do surgery.
yes,
Yay!
like no, I'm actually glad because it's just sort of like. F doesn't like this kid. The audience doesn't like this kid. Nobody likes this kid. What is he around for? But it's like, oh, wait a second. They actually are bonding over something positive. This is terrific.
And then?
And then Zach's like, Dad, you saved that guy. You know who else you could save? You could save Mom. Mom's still alive. Help Mom. Help Mom the same way.
That was the second time I wrote Zach is an idiot.
yeah, and it was
I
just
wrote
sort of
he
like,
thinks his mom can be saved. He is an idiot.
yes.
You were really amazing in there with the surgery, Dad. Why couldn't you use that surgery to save Mom?
because she's not
Boom!
alive.
Truth bomb dropped.
No, it's not a truth bomb. So they go back
I have
to.
sorry
Yeah.
before we leave this scene and move to the next scene. Now that we're in an apocalyptic scenario,
Sure.
I always wonder why money is still a value in this situation. Like the woman who is Jimmy Woo's daughter or whatever has like a wad of cash, and they're still selling and buying goods with cash. And it's fascinating to me because usually when you watch an apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic drama, the world starts to descend into chaos to a level where money has no meaning.
But this is only one city, and like, yes, goods are going to be more valuable within New York City, but because I think some people still have hope that they're going to get past this, because the rest of the country is fine, that if they can just survive whatever's happening in New York and get out, then that money will help them in the future.
Yeah.
So
can see
they
that.
can
I
still
can see
maintain that perception of its value.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that.
So we get back to the hideout. What are we calling it? A compound?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
just call it
Compound.
hideout.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
gigantic. And F grabs Nora and he's like, "All right, you want the truth? I'll give you the truth."
Can you handle it?
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
I killed Everett Barnes. What else? I got 4 people killed. Wait, 4? What are you talking about? Well,
Yeah, wait.
there's-
What?
Well, okay. So Everett Barnes threw him off a train. Let's see. My
friend.
My friend. He's dead. The hitman definitely dead. And it's like, and who was the 4th one? Lee, whatever her name was. She bled out of my arms. Oh, I see. Dramatic turn away. He never says that he cheated. I'm
Also-
assuming that she's assuming from
yeah,
that.
but also, F, you suck at lying. You
Yeah.
suck at this whole thing. If you're going to be a player, play the game. So when
Is
you're...
Jackie about to teach us how to play the game?
Well, he could have come in and been like, well, it was Everett Barnes, my friend, and the pharmaceutical rep. All
Just
3
clean.
things. If you said
Done.
it clean all
Done.
together,
He
it
could've-
would have made sense. You wouldn't have had to make it creepy. But because he's F, he likes to make everything extra creepy.
She
He
bled
could
out
have
of my arms.
He could have even said the same thing of like, she died in my arms. Like, that can still be a messed up thing that happened. Even if she died, even if it was just a lady you were working with
Right.
who was gonna help you.
Yeah, but no, it was, she died in my arms. Also, we banged. I'm not going to talk about that, but
But you should probably know we banged.
very
We banged.
emotional. Yeah.
We banged and then the gun went bang and
Yes. And protection? Oh, you better believe we didn't use it. No. I was on a mission. A mission, anyway, to have a better kid than Zach. All right, so meanwhile, while they're having this very important discussion, Zach is playing phone games vertically in freaking portrait mode. What kind of game is he playing? Doodle jump? And Kelly is just skulking around the outside. She got through the barricade by having nice sunglasses and I guess sunlight powers.
Well, part of what happened in that scene was she lucked out. This kills me because she didn't actually have. There was no plan.
No, well,
so
no, the
she
plan
lucked out
was,
because the vampires were in the car behind.
but that was the plan.
Yeah, that was.
It was a decoy van with decoy vampires that they were
I'm
willing to let
dumb.
kill.
Yeah, that was intentional. And for more
I
on that subject,
feel
check out the
dumb.
interview with Natalie Brown and Stephen Lemieux.
Yeah.
And keep plugging it as much as
Yeah,
possible.
but my
So now that
question
makes
is,
sense.
like, so she and Ike Horst are 100% immune to sunlight? I do not remember this being a confirmed fact.
I think that the makeup that they use like protects
Has UV
them.
protection.
Yeah, against
Okay.
like as long as they're not just like standing out in like direct sunlight, and it looked like a cloudy day.
Yeah. Okay, that's
I
fair.
think she's okay, but the UV light probably would have hurt a lot.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the UV light would have hurt a whole bunch, but they urge her to drive away from the stingers, and she gets to bring spider children back into Red Hook, and they assault the compound. Kelly's like outside. She's like, Zach, hey Zach, it's me. I'm normal. I'll make you sketty and garlic breads.
I like that they have like a little echo in her voice.
Yeah.
No,
They
that was
gave it a
really
little
cool because
echo.
she's getting better. Like she's had like a little bit more connected words than she did when she was with the cop. Just like Ike Horst said at the very beginning.
It's like 2 speakers that aren't aligned properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Zach is like, oh, Dad, you're so stupid. Mom's fine. She's there. She just needs help. And it's like, what have we told you? What have you seen, you big dummy? Yeah. And he opens the door for her, and she comes right in, and the spider children just walk right past F, and he does not notice one bit, and they are making noise. That drove me nuts. But yeah, there's some fun gunplay and machete play, and then he throws that kid onto a bunch of nails, which is there for no reason.
And then there are flying spider children.
Yeah, that's like a trap.
I assumed it was because it was in the work area, like some kind of defense they were working on, like something they were building. I think it stands to the reason that like there's weaponry and traps and stuff in random places,
hidden all over the place.
Yeah, and I think that like the machete is like they probably have machetes or swords planted all over that place, or they should if they don't.
Here's what I don't get. Give Zach to Kelly. Not F's motivation, but I'm talking about the writers. The writers. Give F one less distraction and one more motivation to end this thing once and for all. And one more heartbreak. Give him something more to lock him into place. And maybe he's not able to save Zach because he drinks too much and that gets him to quit drinking again. Something to motivate the plot.
Yeah, that would be an intense, dramatic episode of television. Like,
Yes,
that
it
would
would.
be insane. Like,
That sounds like something that maybe someone would nominate for an Emmy, Zach.
even I got confused a little bit.
You, Zach.
Yes.
You. But, like, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, nothing fun like child murder.
Basically. All right.
And alcoholism.
She doesn't want to murder him. She wants to bring him back to the master.
Which we still don't quite know for what purpose, because now the master has a new... We thought it was that Zach was going to become the new vessel, but the master has a new vessel, seemingly likes it, unless he's going to like move on again, which seems like I doubt that would happen.
Well, let me say this, right? The master, Quinlan says that the master, in all the thousands of years that he's been alive, he has never moved from one vessel to another because he had to. It's always been by choice. So what if, and also people keep remarking that why would he pick Bolivar? That doesn't make sense. The reason why he picked Bolivar is because it was taking too long to get Zach. And it was a stopgap measure, and then he's going to completely infect Zach.
I would love to see that. I really want to see that little punk kid that plays Zach bossing around Eichhorst.
I feel like that is the most fun version of how this works out, and it explains why they cast a snottier kid. Because he has to be snotty to Eichhorst. Genius. The end of this season is gonna come, and we are all gonna think that the showrunners of the show are freaking geniuses.
Yes.
That's what I would like. All right, let's go to predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Go, Zach, go.
I think that we're going to find Rudyard Kipling, whatever. I'm just gonna call him Rudyard Kipling.
Fun askew.
I think we're gonna find him, and he is going to be like 20 years old.
Cool.
Because the Lumen supposedly has some sort of access to immortality. That's why Palmer's looking for it. It has some kind of very intense mystical stuff going on within that book. And I think that that's what we're going to find when we meet him.
I like that. It also means that they're going to completely not recognize him. He's going to slip away, and then they have to chase him for 2 whole episodes. God damn it. I hate this show. I don't hate this show. I love this show. Please don't do that to me. Please just have him say, I'm Rudyard, and then give them the damn book. Or do something interesting. Please don't make us just wait around while they try to figure it out again.
I would even love if he was just like, yeah, I was going to give you the book regardless, but I thought I could get a lot of gold out of the Nazi before that.
Sure, something. Anyway.
Or out of the Nazi's buddy, I guess.
Yeah. Jackie, you want to say something?
I don't really have a prediction. I have a need. If Palmer becomes a vampire, I need for him to also get a vampire makeover.
Super. I love it. I love it.
Can Coco do the makeover?
Yes.
Zach, did you get to bring up the thing you wanted to bring up earlier? You were thinking about something and then you wanted to bring it up in predictions instead?
Oh, that was it.
Okay, super. And, it looks like we're going to have a big assault on Red Hook next week, which is great. Lots of action. Looks like the kind of episode we've been waiting for 8 weeks. And Kelly Goodweather, Natalie Brown in her interview said that now she's a vampire in Red Hook. They think that it's already cleaned and wiped out, so she's going to be messing some stuff up for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, if she picks her targets right, she could build up a little underground back door of vampires.
Absolutely. Now, Jackie, where can the people find you?
My website, 123jackieb.com, and my web series, Words, Wine, and Women. We just started, we just shot some more webisodes, I guess you call them, yesterday. So
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. And coming up next with Jacque Borowski, we'll be talking about Dominion.
Fantastic. And you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman, MattLieberman, YouTube.com/Matt Lieberman. And hey, go to Casper.com/AfterBuzz. Use the coupon code AfterBuzz for $50 off your first mattress. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Goodbye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bite
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
People may complain about my 3-minute live read, but damn, it was glorious.
It was glorious.